account, if I can call it, and I click on it, so I'm connecting myself. This is where I am. So I've already created my database. It's already there. If you can see, it's called Crane Management System. Crane Management System. So if I refresh here, let me first refresh. So if I open my table, my table properties already there. As you can see, I've already created my table. So if I click here, it's going to tell me select, and my table is already there. So that's a procedure, but if I'm to create a new one, I'm going to go on SQL, and if I'm to create the schema, because I already have the schema there. So this is a procedure for creating schema. So that is SQL. If I'm to add data, I'm going to click here and I do add the data. Let me say Kawempe. I'm going to say Kampala. Let me go back. Okay, but be the same. I'm going to say Kawempe. Kawempe. Next, I'm going to say Kampala. I'm going to say Kampala. Next, I'm going to put residential. Next, image maybe for 56. I'm going to put the money maybe 500. I'm going to say rented. If I say apply, now here is a problem. I think the property is already there, and maybe I did a mistake. I created this property or the table, the property table. It's already there. So if I do the same thing here, it is showing that I've already created this thing on another table. That's where the problem is. So if I come here, down here, is where I said test. On this test, I have already the table here, and it is there. If I go on the table of properties, I'm going to see myself there, and my table is already there. So I've already filled the information, but refilling the information, I'm doing the same procedure as I did. So here is my information, as you can see. So that's already the table for property. When I want to save, I just go here on the file to save my property, to save my work. I just go on the file, click on the file, and say save script as. So that's a procedure for saving, but I've already saved my work. If I say save as, I'm saving. Now I'm going to say properties. Let me say properties. properties. Save them on desktop. SQL file, that one is okay, we can go with that one. Yes. Now, if I've said I've saved my work, let me go, it is here. If I open, it will take me direct there. But now when I reach here, I had to if I try to connect here, but my work is already there, saved. If I'm to open, I have to go back there, then I say import to open my what? Change drawing. It said property, we have the property, we have the transaction, we have the agent, and we have to create also the relations, whereby when we look through the property and property transaction and agent transaction, what we are seeing, we have the relationship there. Try to increase my drawing so that you can see very well. So this is my drawing. This is my drawing, whereby I have the property, and we have, the property ID. We have the agent under the property. That's what I'm talking about. Under the property, we have the property ID. That's our primary key. And then we have the agent, and we have the agent ID. That's our primary key. On transaction, also we have the primary key, which is transaction ID. And we have the clients, which is the client's ID. So under the properties, we have the entities. So those entities, it's like the one which describes the property. They are the property, whereby the property has the size, should be having this so our primary key under the attributes. So those attributes, we have the name, we have the contact, we have the commission rate, and the decimal. So those are like what it should have, or what it contains. Those are the attributes, what that entity contains. When we come on clients, also have the client ID, and we got to have the name. It's also having the name. We have the contact. Also, it is having the email. So email, sometimes you can say, you can put there the phone number. So all those things are supposed to be there. When we come to the transactions, we have the transaction ID. Oh yes, we have the transaction ID, we have the project ID. That means let me take an example. When an agent comes a client to a client, and then they negotiate on a property, so they carry out a transaction. That's why the transaction also holds the agent ID and the client ID. So it consumes all. When you're doing the transaction, it takes the client comes in, and then the agent comes in also. That's what it means. When we talk of the relations, the transactions, it has a relationship with the agent. It also has a relationship with the client. It also has the relationship with the properties. That's why it is consuming all these properties of the agent ID, the client ID. When we talk of the client also has the same.
Yes.
So when we so I have the relations, I have the entity, I have the attribute. These are the relations, these lines.